Starting a YouTube channel can feel really daunting, but staying consistent with one is a whole other story. You're on a journey where the results don't always come right away. It might feel hard to see the light at the end of this growing tunnel of content, filming, and editing. Maybe you feel like it's not worth the energy. Maybe YouTube's just for the lucky. Maybe you don't feel supported or you just feel really stuck. But I believe the number one killer to the consistency of a small YouTuber really boils down to one thing: your mindset. I have some big goals for this channel, and I'm using this space as a way for me to document my YouTube journey, but I also want to use it to inspire some people who are on the same path as me. And one of the biggest things I see people talking about when it comes to their YouTube journey is staying consistent. I've seen people complain about the journey taking too long, growth is too slow, not getting enough views, and then they lose all motivation to post altogether. And you might be able to relate to that, and I think that those feelings can be very normal, but the truth is they're just not going to get you to where you want to be, and that's a fact. If you're building your YouTube channel or your brand as a content creator only when you're feeling motivated, you're rarely going to show up for yourself. Because here's the thing, motivation, it's just not reliable. And why would you want to attach something that isn't reliable to your big, juicy life goals? That's just a recipe for disaster. So what can we do about it? One thing that's helped me is finding something else to attach my desires to. Something that's actually reliable. Something that's going to allow you to show up consistently. And for me, that is discipline and commitment, or a mix of the both with some other factors thrown in there. Listen, as with everything, you have to find what works for you, and then you have to stick with it. But honestly, I think the biggest killer when it comes to the consistency of small YouTubers is the mindset. Your thoughts become your reality. So are you thinking thoughts daily that serve your life vision and your big goals? Probably not if you think about that statistic that says that 80% of our thoughts are negative and 95% of them are repetitive. So 95% of our thoughts are repetitive and 80% are negative. So the chances of you having a mindset that is actually fueling the life that you want to create is very low, and that means that it's something that we need to work on and build and tackle every day. Are you constantly telling yourself things like,
oh, is this even worth it? This video sucks. I'm not making progress. Everyone has it easier than me. It's too hard to grow. The monetization requirements are too high to reach. I'm worried about what people think. I don't know what to talk about.
Does it sound familiar to you? Now, if you are someone that's constantly having these thoughts, let me ask you this. Are those thoughts serving you? And only you know the answer to that. I don't know what thoughts you're having. I don't know what limiting beliefs might be there. Only you know the true answer to that. You really need to ask yourself that and be honest. So for me, I'm constantly checking in with my thoughts because it's not a one and done kind of thing. You don't just like cure your mindset and never have to work on it again. It's like going to the gym. You need to work on it to maintain it. I'm constantly working towards checking what type of mindset I'm operating from, what mindset I'm making decisions from, because it really does matter. And shifting my mindset and making the decision to attach my goals and my life vision to things like discipline and commitment over motivation or the numbers and getting views has been the greatest asset to my consistency game. Because when you choose commitment and you are committed to your goals and you are committed to your vision, that means you show up on the days where it feels hard. You show up on the days where it feels confusing. You don't go MIA and not pick up your camera for 6 months. That's not what you do when you're committed. You have a game plan, you have a strategy, you're learning and you're growing. You don't just throw in the towel the minute things don't go your way. Because sometimes you just have to fight for the life that you want for yourself. And disclaimer, do not come for me with the toxic hustle culture, because that's not what this is about. Rest is important, and your strategy and your game plan should include rest. It's important to take breaks, and I would say it's required to rest and look after yourself if you want to be consistent, because for most of us, our body is the vessel here. If we're not looking after ourselves and we're becoming run down, how are we going to be able to show up? So rest and looking after yourself is included in all of this, just saying. okay? But if your physical and mental health are just fine and you're just not showing up just because you don't feel like it, you don't have the motivation, it's a Tuesday, whatever the reason is, the views aren't there the way that you want them to be, you really have to ask yourself, why am I doing this? And I want you to dig into that question. Why are you doing this? Do you even enjoy creating content? Or are you just chasing clout in the numbers? Let's get real with ourselves here. Let's have this honest conversation. Okay, let me ask you this. What is the number of subscribers or views that you would feel would equal to the amount of commitment that you've put into your channel? Now, after answering that, let me ask you this. If it took you another 3 to 5 years or more to get to those numbers, would it still be worth it for you? Because for me, I genuinely love creating content. I love it. I love the creative side of it. I love having the potential to impact people's lives and talk about things that I'm passionate about and that excite me. For me, I would be making videos and making content regardless of if this channel got monetized, even though I truly do believe it will one day. Whenever that day comes, I show up regardless. I show up today, I show up tomorrow, I show up next week, I show up in 6 months. I show up as if. I show up as if I'm monetized right now, as if I already have the engaged, thriving community of like-minded people that I want. Show up as if. Build it and they will come. And while those cliche sayings can only take us so far without learning and improving our skills each week, they sure as hell have helped me stay in the game. Consistently showing up, getting better, learning new things, working on my mindset. My goal of this video is to get you thinking about what it is that you are attaching your goals to, and if that's actually serving you for the better. Are your goals attached to motivation that is failing you week in and week out, and you're not able to stay consistent and you're not showing up for yourself? Because if that's the case, then something has to change. It's so important to do these little check-ins with ourselves. I truly do believe that. Just to make sure that we are operating from and making decisions from places that are pushing us towards where we want to be in our lives. If you're making decisions and operating out of fear or motivation that's wavering, it's not going to get you far. So really check in with yourself. What are your goals attached to? And what can you attach them to going forward that is going to help you show up for yourself consistently? So, what mindset are you operating from?